The Joyetech Atopack Penguin. BuyBest.com sent the Joyetech Atopack Penguin Special Edition to me for the purpose of this review. And I know this is an older device, it's been around since about August 2017, but BuyBest gave me a choice of about 10 other products, some much newer than this, but the Penguin has been something that I've been wanting to pick up for a while due to all the positive reviews that it gets, so I requested this one. The Penguin is just a simple all-in-one device designed for beginners or people looking for ease of use. There are no wattage adjustments or airflow adjustments. First, what makes this the special edition is that it's lighter than the original because it's made of plastic, and it comes in more interesting colors. BuyBest.com sent me the basic white and black model, but some of those other colors are really crazy. The SE model also has these e-juice windows on the sides. It stands 4 inches tall, 2 inches from the front to back, and 1 inch wide, and it's really light. It holds 8.8 mils of e-juice, or 2 mils for people in the UK. The battery capacity is 2,000 milliamp hours, it charges at 2 amps, and it comes in colors of white, black, light blue, light pink, purple mix, or gray mix. In the box you'll get the Penguin SE device, 1 e-juice cartridge, 1 mouth-to-lung coil, which is 0.6 ohms, 1 direct lung coil, which is 0.25 ohms, a quick charge USB cable, a mouthpiece, and a cartridge cover. Okay, so first thoughts when seeing this, or at least my first thought, is that it just looks terrible. It's not a great looking device. It was designed after a penguin, after all, which is not an elegant animal, in my opinion. It's bulky, clunky looking, and it's all plastic. But, like I said, that's just my opinion. And don't let the looks of it dissuade you from buying it, because it's the functionality that really matters. And despite the bulky appearance, it's actually very comfortable to hold. Alright, let's talk function. 5 clicks turns it on, and 5 turns it off. It's as simple as that. There are no other functions or settings available. I'm not sure how many watts this pushes to each coil, but from what I can find online, the device itself pushes a max of 50 watts. This is direct output, so the wattage that you get will reduce as the battery power decreases, but it's hardly noticeable at all. You won't get a hot vape out of the Penguin. It's more of a cool to slightly warm vape. It fires really fast, and there's no delay whatsoever. You just hit the button and it gets that coil going. So the battery is designed to charge at a 2 amp max current, so it charges pretty fast. It's also a 2,000 milliamp hour battery, so it'll hold charge for a decent amount of time. And in my own experience, you can get through maybe about a half of a full 8.8 mil tank in a full charge battery. So you will have to charge it probably twice to get through a full tank. If you want to see the battery level, you click the firing button once, and there are 5 LED dots on the screen that indicate the charge. Right below that firing button is a mini USB port, which is how you charge it. And since this is an internal battery mod, you need to plug the USB cable in to charge it. I recommend charging it with a high quality USB wall adapter, but Joyetech says that you can charge it using your computer USB port too. Alright, now let's talk about the Atopack coils. So the Penguin comes with 2 coil heads, a mouth-to-lung coil and a direct lung coil. You'll see that they're clearly labeled on the back of each coil. And this is nice because you can pop out the cartridge at any time and see what coil is installed. On the bottom of each coil head are 2 metal connectors, which connect to the device. These coils are cased in ceramic. They're pretty heavy duty. If you put the coils side by side, you'll see that they're almost identical, except that the inner diameters are different. The way the coils work is that airflow comes in through this little slot on the side of the cartridge. It travels down and through the coil and through the silicone piece right to the mouthpiece. The e-juice is fed into the coil from the top of the coil head, which it appears to be cotton. And both coil heads are using single vertical coils built in parallel, and they are surrounded by what I'm told is organic cotton. And these coils have this little ledge that you can use to pull them out of the silicone piece when you want to change them. And the way to remember which side to grab is that the ledge is on the side with the mouthpiece. Alright, let's talk about the mouth-to-lung coil. So that head is built at 0.6 ohms. The inner diameter is 2 millimeters, so it's tiny, and that's how this gets so much restriction. The big problem with this coil head, though, in my experience, is that it isn't actually mouth to lung. You can't get a really tight draw from it. It is very restricted, but you're stuck with a lung draw. It is a very restricted lung draw, though, but this one definitely needs more restriction to be called a mouth to lung coil. The direct lung coil head is built at 0.25 ohms. The inner diameter is just a little more than 3.5 millimeters, so it's a big one. While this is a direct lung hit coil, it's still a little restricted, but this isn't designed to blow massive clouds, although it does still put out quite a lot of vapor. As for the cartridge, it holds a massive 8.8 mils of e-juice, so you won't have to fill it up often. There's also a 2 mil version for those of you in the UK dealing with TPD restrictions. To get the cartridge out of the device to fill, just push out towards the back of the device and it'll pop right out. It has a little restriction, but don't worry, you won't break it. If you look at the Atopack where the cartridge sits, you'll see the two metal contacts at the bottom, which is how the device fires the coil. There's also a metal plate that I think holds the cartridge in place. It might also have something to do with the battery, letting it know that you can start firing. If the cartridge isn't installed completely, the lights on the screen will blink and it won't fire. So there are little windows on each side of the cartridge letting you know, or letting you see how much e-juice is in the tank. And the stickers on each side also tell you how many milliliters are in there. And you can see that one sticker has blank spaces so that you can label the e-juice if you want to. And I guess that's useful if you only vape a few flavors and you have several cartridges laying around, but yeah, that's not something I'd ever use. It kind of reminds me of how blank VCR or cassette tapes had labels. Sorry, dating myself there. Anyway, and you can see that Joyetech did mention that the cartridge is made of PETG and silicone, and that the silicone is the plug at the bottom, and the rest of the cartridge is PETG plastic. The first time you'll use the cartridge, you'll find a plug in the bottom, so just pull that out and save it in case you ever need it. And this is where you fill up the cartridge with e-juice. And make sure you fill it up in the middle hole, not in the one on the side, otherwise you'll have e-juice pouring out of the mouthpiece. And the silicone piece comes out too, and I think it's designed to come out so that you can clean it, but you have to be careful because there's this little O-ring that will fall out and a little metal plate on the side that will also fall out. Just remember where those parts go if you take the silicone out. And honestly, I'm not really sure what that metal piece does because it doesn't seem to connect to anything. It just might be to keep the silicone piece in place or maybe help create a good seal. The milliliter lines are upside down when you're filling it, so when you're filling it, fill it up to the 1 mil line and it'll be at 8.8 mils when you turn it right side up. And you can actually fill it up a little more than that. So this tank seems to hold a little more than 8.8 mils. Once you have the tank filled up, pop one of your coils in and let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes so that the coils can soak up the e-juice before you fire it. You just don't want to, burn your coil. You can speed up the process by sucking e-juice into the coil with the airflow hole closed, like with your finger over it. But you might flood it and get e-juice in your mouth for a few hits. But you can do that if you just can't wait. Then you just slide the cartridge back into place and you're good to go. And if you ever need to store the cartridge, Joyetech included a silicone cover so that you can close it up and not have to worry about it leaking everywhere. Okay, let's talk flavor. So the flavor doesn't blow me away, but it's actually pretty good. The flavor from both coils are good, but the mouth to lung coil does seem to have a little bit more flavor. But for me, the restriction of the mouth to lung coil is too much. So I make the trade-off in a little less flavor for the more wide open airflow of the direct lung coil. Oh, and this also comes with a silicone mouthpiece cover. I'm not really sure what the purpose is because it doesn't get hot or anything. But then again, I vape pretty regularly. Maybe it does feel a little hot to beginners. So it is nice that they included it just in case. All right, so that's the Atopack Penguin. I do wish that it looked a little cooler, and I would have liked for the mouth to lung coil to be more restricted, but the Atopack Penguin is just so easy to fill and use. I can chain vape it without getting a dry hit, and the flavor is pretty good. So this one is a win in my book. It's perfect for a beginner and it's great for someone just looking for ease of use. So if this looks like something that you're interested in, you can get it from buybest.com for about $27, and they do have free shipping for orders over $20. So that's a nice bonus. All right, thanks for watching the review and I'll see you next time.